Hi, everybody. Welcome to Art of the City TV. I'm Ruth-Ann Thorn. I'm your host. And today I have a very special guest, somebody who is very dear to my heart, and that is artist Michael Flohr. And I've been representing Michael now for going on 18 years. It's been an incredible journey. Michael is probably one of the most prolific artists out there, meaning that he's captured some of the most important places all across the United States, into Europe. He has a huge fan base, many galleries that carry his work. And I thought it would be appropriate to bring him on today because he's getting ready for a big tour. And this has been something that artists have been waiting for all year long. Shows have been canceled. So he's going to start going out onto the road for the first time. Of course, social distancing, masks, and just bringing the beauty of his art to people in the gallery setting. So let me see if I can get Michael Flohr on. Well, Michael, I am so excited. I just gave a little tee up for you, talking about the fact that you've been sequestered like the rest of us. And now going out on the road once again. And
yes.
Can you share a little bit about your preparation when you have a big show like this one that's coming up here in Atlanta?
Oh, geez. First, I got to get lots of anxiety and think I'm having a panic attack. That's number one.
Right.
Once my heart palpitations get high and I think the world's ending, and then I feel better, and then I'm ready for the show. No, I do my normal routines. The stress of getting all the paintings done, that's the hardest part. And the gallery I've been to for so many years, I keep trying to outdo myself every year.
Right.
Like your show at home, I do the same thing. I put all the extra stress on me.
Well, it's refreshing, Michael, to hear from an artist, because I think that all artists that I've ever worked with deal with that anxiety, because you're in your studio all the time and you're not getting input from everybody like you do at a show. And so there's always that possibility that it's not received as well as the last show. But I don't think you've ever had a show that you haven't sold out.
Yeah, where people walked out and said, I'm never coming here again.
But why don't you share a little bit with people about when you're getting ready to do a show, what goes through your mind? Because I know a lot of times you do themes, you have a certain idea about what you're creating.
I love coming up with a theme. Like the show that's coming up in Atlanta, the theme was we called it Breaking the Rules. So like I tried some different color theories and some different things that usually don't work together, and doing some different, like just coming up with a different brush stroke, more drips, and just changing things and trying to different subjects. Like I've been doing some more of the animals. I love painting the elephants lately, have been some of my favorites to do.
Speaking of animals, I have an animal in my studio right now that is
a cat
scratching. I got to bring him over here.
Yeah, I want to see.
We're all animal lovers around these parts. So here's my little guy here. This is a little kitty.
I wonder if we could do a live FaceTime dog bark for her.
Do it. That's so funny.
That's my backup town. I'm sure lots of collectors know that one.
I think a lot of your collectors out there have, followed you now. I was just sharing for 18 years, if you can believe that.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, it's really great to have worked with you this long and raise your families together, and just seeing seeing your artwork from the beginning. I remember, and a lot of people probably don't know this story, Michael, but about how you just stumbled upon my gallery years ago, and maybe you should share it because you were the one having lunch next door.
Melissa was good friends with a guy named Spike from Spike and Mike Sick and Twisted Animation Festival. He would have a festival in San Diego, and he's the one who discovered Beavis and Butthead, all kinds of other famous famous
There you go.
artist and animations, and she's invited us down there to go see the show, and then the next day we met him for breakfast at Cody's Cafe in La Jolla.
I
And I
remember
didn't
that.
know that your gallery was right next to that. So as I
remember.
usually do, when I see the butcher paper on a table, I get excited because then I don't have to talk as much at breakfast and I can just draw. So I was drawing, and then Cody, the owner, saw the painting or the drawing and said, "Wow, usually people just doodle and it doesn't really look that good." And he's like,
Well,
"That's really awesome."
I knew that he was onto something because they were always busy at lunch, and he was, as
Yeah.
you know, the chief cook and bottle washer. And for those of you who have
Yep.
heard of Burger Lounge, he went
Oh
on
yeah, he's
to be the founder of Burger Lounge later. That
yeah,
was Dean.
yeah.
So Dean
Dean
runs over in his
with the
apron,
sketch. Yeah, yeah.
and he runs over in the busy lunchtime and he says, Ruth-Ann, you've got to meet this artist. I
I'm gonna
just
move
saw
this
his sketchbook. He's amazing. I said, okay, great. And how many artists had come by,
Yeah, you were
pitching
probably
their
like,
art
"Oh
to
no."
me in all those years.
Yeah.
And I hardly ever found anybody that way, but sure enough,
And then I always kept that. Yeah, and I always keep this little cheesy photo album on me, and it had a couple paintings from art school. I think I had 1 year left of school, and you were like, "Oh, this is amazing." It's like, call me when you graduate, and you probably thought I'd never show up. And I think I still lived in San Fran, and you said, "Well, send some paintings down." I think it was like a painting of a vodka bottle and a little bar scene. And I remember you called back like 4 days later, like, "We sold those two. Can you send
Good
some more down?"
memory,
I'm like,
Michael. I'm impressed.
"Yeah, the vodka painting, the blue. See, I don't." And
Yeah, and then
I kept
history
sending
was
paintings
made.
down.
When
Yeah,
you
I
moved
kept sending
down,
more.
I mean, as soon as you
Yeah.
moved back to San Diego, I don't think there was a painting that you created that we didn't sell within, I'd say, 1 to 2 days. I had never seen
Yeah.
anything like it.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I think it's just because there's so many artists that are I'm more talented as I am and more talented, but the hard part is to come up with that with a unique style.
Well,
You know?
I don't know if I'd say there's a lot of artists out there that, I mean, I know many artists that I talk to, of all the artists in our gallery, always say,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if I could be like Michael Flohr.
That's
But
okay.
you've
I guess
also progressed over the years. I mean, from
Yeah.
the block style paintings that you were doing,
I
and
know.
now it's loosened up. But one
Yeah,
thing that
loosened
hasn't
up and
changed is your ability to paint anything.
yeah, and the color. I think the lots of just working with colors that shouldn't work together. Yeah,
No,
and
it's
it's cool when
true.
I look back at like this old painting. I was just embellishing a Parisian rain, and I love it. And when I look at the umbrella, it's like it's so cool to see the different how I used to paint back then.
It's
And it's
awesome.
something
So,
I didn't consciously try to change my style. I just noted people telling me, "Oh, your style has changed."
so how does it
So like, yeah.
feel going back out on the road? I mean, this
Oh
is,
yeah,
you did the show up at Lake Tahoe, and now you're going
yeah,
to Vinings Gallery in Roswell,
yep.
Georgia. And we've been working with Gary Handler,
For
who's the
18 years, yeah.
owner of Vinings Gallery, for probably 17 years, I would imagine.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had my first show in his built out basement, the basement gallery show.
Right. That's right.
And then he opened his big gallery in over in Vinings, and now he has two beautiful galleries in Roswell. And shout out to them. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm so excited. And that's a cool little place, Roswell, Georgia. That's a place that I could see living there someday. It's just a cute little town, and I love going there. It's like meeting your family once a year.
And you've been inspired by Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Tell me what projects you've done, because I know you've done many. Specifically, the big one was when you were commissioned by Southern Power to do
that was the
huge painting that's still there.
Yeah, like 13. Let me fix this. 13 feet tall. It was it?
It was
13 or something like that.
It took 8 guys to take that stretch canvas piece out, 8 big men. It wasn't that it
Yeah.
was heavy, it was just so big.
Yeah.
And then
And the big,
put it in
and it
that
was driven
freight
out.
truck. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That and doing the painting of the Virginia Highlands there, where the famous bars are, Canton Street, Virginia Highlands. What's that one place in Atlanta that's so cool? Not Whataburger. It's where they all say, "What do you have? What do you have? What do you have?" Mr. A, something A.
Oh,
Oh, what's the
that's
name of
right.
that
That's right.
burger? Gary's. All the people from Atlanta are gonna be mad. I don't remember that name. Oh,
Well,
the
hopefully
V
they'll be
something.
watching this because I'm
Yeah,
really hoping that they're able to show this to the patrons because sometimes those shows get so busy, you don't
yeah,
get
oh
a
yeah.
chance to really talk about
Talk.
your
Yeah,
relationship with Atlanta besides Southern Power, which if
oh
you
yeah,
folks get a chance to go downtown to the Southern Power building, you walk into the lobby and that painting is dead center right over the
yeah.
reception desk there. It
And
is
it's really cool
absolutely awesome.
because they leave it lit at night, and the front of the building is all glass, so you can see it from across the block. It's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But
It's so
where
awesome.
else do
And
I?
then I know one of the big highlights of this trip is going to, you're getting a private tour, right, of the Fox Theater.
Yeah, the Fox Theater. There's a gentleman there that I've done 3 big commissions for of his beautiful at his business, his law firm, and they're of Marietta Square in Atlanta, famous city and square. And I did the big piece and the 2 side pieces that go with it. And that's the coolest thing when you hear him talk about his friends and clients who come in, and he's like, it's sometimes a distraction to the meetings because people are looking at your painting and they're just like, who did this? And I'm like, that's a good sign. That's a good sign if I can get these guys to break out of it. He says it's a good icebreaker. It's all this beautiful color that's a painting. It gets people to, then they start talking about the law.
Well,
So
and
it's
maybe
cool.
people don't mind when they, when he gives them the attorney bill there, they're
Oh
so
yeah,
mesmerized with the artwork.
yeah, by the painting. See, that could be there. You never know.
It,
No,
it
but
makes
that's so
it
cool.
makes it a little bit easier to
Oh
handle
yeah,
probably.
yeah,
But I think the thing about Atlanta that is so charming is the history there. And you've really been known for capturing places that are historical. And sometimes
yeah,
you've captured places that are historical. And the next time you've gone there, I know you've told me it's not there anymore.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
think
Well,
that's
like
important.
the Virginia Highlands, the area there, there was all these 100-year-old oak trees that were all of a sudden gone one year because they were crushing. The sidewalk was cracking, so they had to take them down. So I'm so glad that
Mm.
I painted those with all the. It was the Highland Tap and Fontaines. That was the print. Remember Fontaines we
Yeah,
did,
I love that piece.
and the Fox Theater, of course. And so for that collector, we're going to do an interior of the Fox Theater. And I should also say they have an exclusive print of the one of the Fox Theater of the outside. So
And that's a new
that's going to be
one,
a cool
right?
one.
That's
That's a
something
brand
that
new
was
one.
just for this show.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
That's, what did we call it? The French way. It was Encore.
I
What is
think it
it?
was Encore at the Fox or Encore. I don't remember because you
Yep,
were so gracious to let the collector
yep. He
collaborate with
named it.
you
He had
on
a
the
cool name.
title.
I've been up too late doing all kinds of stuff. The paint thinner is getting to me. I don't want to mispronounce the name, but it's coming out. They'll be the first to release it at that show.
Oh, I
So
think
that
it's
should be pretty
called
cool.
Grand Premiere.
There you go. Grand premiere. Grande premiere. Grande the French way.
And
So
so
it'll be
that,
grande
and I think
premiere.
that was because the Fox, what it's known for is it was the first theater to show the Gone with the Wind.
Yep.
And
They've had so many cool shows there.
and
So
they've
yeah,
had
grande premiere. So that's gonna be cool. I always
so
love it when a brand new.
what other teasers can you give the viewer here as
Jeez.
far as you don't have to obviously show the pieces because they're going to be
Yeah.
unveiled this weekend, but what were some of the highlights of the paintings that you did for this particular show?
I would say there's some very interesting charcoal pieces, things that should be in color that are not. There's some cool. Yeah, sometimes you got to stop and smell the roses or flowers. There's some cool stuff.
All right,
I'm
I
showing,
love that. I love
showing
those
my
little
showing my
Michael,
sensitive side.
on the charcoal, what is
Yeah.
it like when you're, because you're a colorist, meaning that I
Yeah.
mean, color like nobody
Yeah.
else that I know. Maybe there are.
It's kind of cool because I can shut that part of my brain down of color, and I can it's just pure immediate drawing. So whatever I'm putting down is it's immediately there. I'm not having to put like something down first to wait later to add another color over that color to make it work. It's what it is, right? It's so like immediate. Yeah. So yeah, and there's a different energy that comes out in the charcoal.
Well, they
And
always
since I do
say
so
that
much,
it's the bones of a great
yeah, oh
painting
yeah,
is the ability for an artist to draw, because with color, it's a little
you can have
forgiving. If
fudge.
you love red,
Yeah.
you'll forgive if there's a little bit of lack of technique, but when it's black
Oh
and
yeah,
white, man, it's all there.
oh
So
yeah,
there's no
yeah.
hiding.
You're right. Because the
So,
values have to be right. I remember in art school, my teachers would take a painting we did, and he would photograph it, and then he would print it out in black and white. And he said, if your values are right, it should read perfectly in black and white. And if it didn't, if something was off, you didn't have dark enough darks or light enough light, the black and white would show that as a fault. So yeah,
wow.
you're right. The black and white has to be. And then when it comes out, it's nice with all my color to have some different varieties. And I did a beautiful scene of Canton Street right there out in front of Gary's
That's
place.
always
So
a great. I love Canton Street. That's always one of the best subject matters because of the history. So let me ask you, Michael, now 18 years, you've become this hugely successful artist. I got to toot your horn a little bit because you have you've become the official artist for Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
You've had major corporations commission you, collect your artwork. You have thousands of collectors throughout the world, really throughout Europe, all over the world, and some very big collections that your works are in today as a living artist. What do you think now, reflecting 18 years ago from when you got out of art school? What is your thoughts about that now?
Jeez, I think, I never knew how. I don't know if I knew how rewarding it would be, or like, I think it just, that's such a good question. I always knew I'd make it at art, whether that was down at Balboa Park doing portraits of people for $20 at a time and, barely making it. I always knew that I wasn't going to put up with just a normal job. So if it was making 25 grand a year or whatever, just to barely make it, I probably wouldn't have a wife or a girlfriend at that, but I would still be just doing art. So I knew I had to make it at art. But obviously, you know me, I'm a go-getter, and I want to succeed. And then once Mel and I got married, and then once we started having kids, like, you think that's when things got even more like, I really want to succeed, to leave a cool legacy for them to see, and to show that if you're passionate about something, you can totally make it. I mean, you see at the school when I drop kids off, or when we still do a couple days a week now, but you see it's almost always moms dropping all the kids off. It's rarely the dads, and everyone else is turning to go to work, to the office, and I'm going home to my art studio with it, which is like surreal, and it's pretty cool. But that comes from just
but you give a lot back to the world, and maybe it's not conventional, but I think that everybody has their gifting and you have yours, which you're really adding to the beauty. And also, I know I wake up and I see your artwork and it makes me feel inspired. So since you've become really well known, here's another question for you. Does your wife treat you and your kids really special now that you're this really famous artist?
Oh, they laugh at me. They're like, oh my God. When someone like sees somewhere and like recognizes me, oh my God, you're Michael Flohr. And my wife just goes, oh my God, now he's gonna think he's so cool. No, they keep me humble. I always told Melissa, if it ever seems like I have a big head, you have the right to punch me in the stomach randomly. So I haven't gotten punched randomly in the stomach. So I always try to keep them.
You
Yeah.
are
And then the
still
funniest
pretty
story
humble, Michael.
you were saying about everyone has their own talent today. I remember how you called and I was getting a fan for Lila.
Yes.
So I was putting Lila's new fan in. I'm like, I'm gonna be the manly guy, and put this fan in. I took it down. I went to the breakers and I put both front rooms were off, so no power. All the lights went off into the house. Got it going up in there, and I pushed the wires together, and I get like a power jolt, like, and
Oh
I
my
kind of
gosh.
jumped off the ladder. I had it like I got a pretty good shock. It was good, and I guess there's a different circuit for the fan.
Well,
So
can you
I call
still
my.
paint?
Oh yeah, I feel a little more
Okay.
energized actually. I feel like some of my painting's gonna be a little more electric. But it was crazy because it was a perfect example. We texted our neighbor who's amazing. He's from Iraq, and he was the equivalent of a journeyman electrician in Iraq. So he's helped me before. He came over and did it no problem. So he's like, I can never paint like you, but for him, his talent is electricity. So I need to stay away from
I
electricity and
think
just
you need
paint.
to stay away from electricity, just like I had mentioned when we went to New York Art Expo and you have that very
Oh
first
yeah,
all-out show. And
yep, ice
then
skating.
I got the phone call from Melissa. Oh, where are you
Yeah,
guys at? Oh, Michael's out
just
on the
ice
ice
skating.
rink at Rockefeller Center. I said, what did I
Yeah,
say, Michael?
yeah. You're like, get them off there immediately. So yeah, you're right. So there's no fault in like asking for help because I'm just good at. Sometimes I can barely spell things. I'm just good at painting and being a dad. I'm okay with that. I'm okay that I can't balance my checkbook or I get confused at reading things, but it's okay. So
Well, that's
uh,
because you're brilliant in other areas. And
yeah, that's what
I
it's.
think the
It's just
world, I would imagine the collectors that are watching would say, thank goodness you poured everything into your art and you
oh
haven't
yeah,
worried about these things that,
yeah.
it's not a, it's not a contest at the end of the day,
No,
what we're good at, but I will tell you that you really have blessed a lot of people with your art.
oh,
And beyond
thank
that,
you.
you really have also I mean, it's not just about, it's your art obviously is
Yeah,
absolutely incredible, but you also are preserving places through your
yeah,
art. We've got these
yeah,
snapshots of time, and I know
yeah.
you do commissions of people
Commissions for
where
people's
people are
favorite
walking down the
restaurants.
street, families.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
that's
those are
yeah.
all
We've done so many of those.
historical memoirs, if you will.
Yeah. No, I
So
agree. Yeah,
so
it's
cool.
like everyone has their phone and their digital image with how cool to be able to do something that is no digital, no zeros and ones in that painting. It's just fumes and pigments and oil.
Well, for
But
those
yeah,
of you folks that are on the East Coast, if you want to take a nice drive, go to
yeah,
Vinings Gallery. They
yep.
have,
In
they have two
Roswell.
galleries. We've
Yep,
moved, from what I understand, they've moved Michael's work into the larger section. They have two,
yep.
but because there's so many people that want to come, they need to
Come to
make a
show.
little bit more room for the social
Yep.
distancing, which I think is
It'll be
really
easier.
great, and masks
Yeah.
and all of that. So the show starts this Friday, right?
Friday. Yep. Yep. And I think it's pretty much the gallery's open at like 10 or 11. And then if you get there, you'll see what times I'm there. I'm usually there like 5 o'clock on. And then on Sunday it's like 12 to 5 but once you get on
Right.
their website, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and it's the show you've been doing is so amazing too. Since the
Oh,
beginning of
thank
this
you.
shutdown, you were right on it, and it seems like other people were doing it too. Because you gotta keep your face out there. Remember everyone,
Yeah, and I
just for
think
the
part
social
of it
aspect.
is that, once I got comfortable in front of the camera, because I think you were the first one that we did this live streaming
Yeah, yeah,
Art of the
yeah,
City, kind of fumbled through it. But I think as I've got more confident, I really have enjoyed bringing artists like yourself. And obviously, Michael, I have to be honest, and I know the
yeah.
other artists that are going to see this are going to go, what? But you're like my brother. We've worked
Oh
together
yeah,
for so many years.
yeah,
We're family. And
yeah.
so,
It's easier when an artist hasn't met you and they're probably nervous. Like, this is Ruth-Ann. She's a great gallerist, and yeah. But you and I, you've seen my prank history and all my weird stuff. So we're just chatting. So I'm excited.
Great. Well,
Yeah,
now
and then we
we've
come
got
back and
teenagers,
yeah, it's crazy.
so that's an
Yeah,
interesting ride that
I
Michael
got
and I and Melissa and we're all on. So that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But
yeah,
Michael, this show is going to be probably one of the most important shows because it's a breakout show from COVID.
yeah. Breakout.
And I
I
know
agree.
people
Yeah,
are wanting to get out and see you.
yep,
And
definitely.
I think this is I know you've been really working hard
Oh
on
yeah,
this body of work. So
yep,
I just encourage you folks, then you can always go online too to viningsgallery.com. If you
yep,
cannot, you're here in California,
yeah.
go support
Yep.
the arts, check out the
And that's
body of work that Michael's created. And
that's what I love. That's what I love about you is like all these galleries. We're not all in crazy competition. It's a big family, and you have your gallery in Solana Beach, and I have a show coming up there, and it's next month or whatever. But we're promoting Gary's show because we're all working together through this. Times are different and challenging, and it's awesome. It shows a good thing. Some galleries can get very defensive, but I think it's awesome.
thank you, Michael. Well, I've always felt like we don't actually own art. It's on loan. We buy it. We
Yeah,
actually have it
that's a good
on
way.
loan, in our homes. And then
Yeah,
when we're gone, it's probably the only thing that will be our legacy, and it'll go
round.
on to the
Yeah,
next generation, and it'll speak to a great artist like you. And if you can
yeah,
imagine, could you imagine 100 years ago if we were able to say we met Picasso or we met
yeah,
one of these great masters and we were
yeah. I don't
able
think
to
you.
collect a piece of work? Wow,
Yeah, you never know at the time that you're going to be that famous until you're gone. So that's
that's
what's cool.
it. Well,
Yeah,
thank you
that's
for
awesome.
being on Art of the City.
Yeah,
And I
love it.
know the show is going to be great. So folks, again, viningsgallery.com. Go ahead and check it out. And if you're heading over onto the East Coast or you live nearby, make
Yeah.
sure you stop by. Michael will give you a little demonstration of his other talent.
Oh yeah, I got some prank toys. They know. Oh yeah, do I have it with me? Oh my God, I don't have it with me.
Oh my gosh, there's a first time for
But usually,
everything.
that's an error. That's yeah. I'll have some special tricks up my sleeve because it's around Halloween's coming up, so we'll have some good stuff.
Michael's a trickster, so. All right, Michael, have a good trip.
Talk to you later.
And, be blessed, and blessings to the family, and keep
Yeah,
blessing the world with your talent.
well, thanks, Ruth-Ann.
Okay,
Bye.
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 I think we have to turn you off here.
Turn me off. I think.
Oh, okay, I might have to edit that out. I'm live streaming here from my studio tonight, so I don't have my technology completely dialed in, but that was Michael Flohr, Art of the City TV, folks. And I'll tell you what, I'm really enjoying the interaction. Appreciate all of you that are giving me feedback on the show. We have another great artist coming on next Wednesday, 4 p.m. live streaming right here, Art of the City. And then in November, we're going to delve back into Native American Heritage Month, which is the month of November. We'll get past the elections and focus on the beauty of the world. No matter which side wins, art always wins. That's what I say. So I focus on art, and I hope you do the same. So I will see you soon. Art of the City TV.